So tonight we're making Lexi's dinner, and we're gonna be having this raw scraps of steak. We had T-bone steaks tonight on the Hot Rocks. And so I cut off these little pieces from the bone. She's down here at my feet just swarming me right now because she knows what she's gonna get. So this is raw. Lexi eats raw meat. And sometimes I'll do canned salmon because it's hard to get raw salmon here. But mostly she eats raw beef, bison, elk, and chicken, and turkey. And that's what it looks like. There's a little spoonful of some cooked squash I had left over and some peas I had left over. She gets a little bit of that. There's no salt in that stuff or added fat. And then I'm feeding her a very small amount tonight because she's had a gigantic T-bone that was about 4 inches long, and she bit it 3 times and swallowed it down. So I'm gonna just go light on her dinner because she had a big bone for dinner. And for those of you that are worried about feeding your dog raw, don't. They come from the species of wolves or coyotes, which that's what they do. They eat raw, dead animals. So organ meat's really good if you can find kidneys, heart, liver to feed your dog. That's really good, which she does. She gets chicken and beef liver. And she's very healthy, growing strong. Sometimes I put a little bit of bone broth in with her stuff too, or I'll put a duck egg in there, just raw. She gobbles it right up. So
it's, what is it, 3 duck eggs a week is what's recommended about?
Well, if you give them too much fats, they're not used to eating a bunch of fats in the wild. Probably egg yolk is the fattiest thing they get besides any fat on the animal they eat. So yeah, they're not used to a ton of fat. So, 2 or 3 a week is what she'll get. And she just loves it. She loves eating this way, and it's pretty good. So I usually feed her quite a bit more raw meat than that. And she just gets a little bit of veggies. And she likes it. For treats, sometimes we give her apples.
That's about a half a cup.
Cut up.
Or
Yeah.
half a cup of meat and about a cup of food
Yeah.
total.
Yep.
And then that about 3 times a day for a 4-month-old.
Yeah,
German
she
Shepherd.
eats a little more than, she gets about a cup and a half 3 times a day.
For a German Shepherd.
For her growing body, and we've
old.
learned that we've kind of played around with her amount, but we've learned that for her growing body to feel satiated and to grow and not look thin, to look healthy, but not overweight, she needs about 4.5 cups of food a day.
And a good chunk of that is raw meat.
Raw meat. Yep, so we're feeding her more than you would with like dried kibble, right? And then I also feed her supplements too. I feed her Cardio Plus and Biodent because she's teething, and Cardio Plus for the heart glandulars. And I made her treats actually so this has some ground oats and a little bit of flour and 3 duck eggs and molasses. And I actually opened up a multivitamin, glucobalance, that's just a really good multi. And I opened up the capsules and dumped those into this mixture because I want her to have lots of nutrients. And then molasses and peanut butter, and I rolled it out on a baking tray and baked it in the oven and cut it up into little treats. And she loves them. Sit, Lexi, good girl. Lexi loves them. So we're gonna give her dinner now, and tomorrow morning will be a little bit more of this raw meat and maybe a duck egg because I don't think she had one today. The before and after pictures of people with their dogs that were fed kibble and then they put them on a raw food diet. After, you show a picture of this, after, what is it, like a year, their coat is a completely different color. And it's shiny and their eyes are a different color. It's a species specific diet, right? It's what they would eat in nature. So the only reason she gets cooked foods is because she's a domesticated animal. Like she gets the cooked peas and the squash, but she goes out in my compost and eats them. So I figure in nature, they're scavengers. So she would eat these out of the garden if she thought. I mean, my farm dog used to eat apples out of the rotting apples that were on the ground fermenting, and he would eat them. So dogs do eat garden vegetables. It's just not the biggest portion. They prefer meat. So we feed Lexi a lot more meat, and it's worth it to us. She's our family member, and she means a lot to us, and we feed her just like we do our kids because she has a job to do. She's guarding our chickens for us. So the treats are probably cheaper than buying the bagged organic. Yep. But these Yeah, they took me a little while to make them, but it's worth it. Just like you make cookies for your kids' lunch.
Yeah.
Yep. And she's happy, and we're happy with her. Okay, if you guys have any questions about the treat recipe that I make or about feeding your dogs raw, just shoot it in the comments. Also, you can ask me at your next visit appointment because I test dogs. Lots of you bring your dogs to me already, so that's great. Otherwise, we'll see you for the next video.